Hi everyone, this is Joanna. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we're going to do my very favorite craft, or one of my very favorite crafts, and that's card making. And we're going to be using Cricut and some die cuts. However, if you don't have die cuts, don't worry, you can totally fully do it without die cuts and just using Cricut. And with Father's Day approaching, this is going to be absolutely a perfect card. So let me show you how I made it. So in the Cricut design space, I searched for gears, and this was one thing that came up amongst all the other things. And I basically, it was as one piece as a background. I think it was gears background or something like that. And I cut it out to 5 by 5 in dimensions. And the cardstock that I'm using is Stampin' Up! Chocolate chip cardstock, but any kind of masculine color is going to work for you, because we are going to start using mica powders on it in just 1 second. So I think this is probably the most tedious part of the card, and that's taking out all those tiny little pieces. Once that is done, here we have our mica powders with silver, gold, and bronze. Now I'm just using my brush and I'm applying them straight to the cardstock, but you could put that brush in water and then put it in the mica powder, and then you're going to get much vibrant color. Now that color, if you use water, is also going to stay very well on the cardstock. So try it out, whatever works for you. I was going for this really subtle look, so I was not looking for any bright and right in my face metallic looks, but I still want them to be there. So the silver, gold, and bronze are going on, and there is no rhyme reason how I'm coloring it. I just want to make sure that all the colors are represented on the card at one point or another. Because I was not using any water with my mica powders, I'm going to give them a little spray, or rather a mist of water, and that's going to kind of set the mica powder into the cardstock. So you have to hold the mister really far away and really just give it a tiny little spritz or two, or maybe 3. Just as long as you don't have big globs of water pouring down the cardstock. And now let's just wait and let it dry. And now that it is dry, I'm attaching it to a black cardstock. The cardstock is 10.5 by 5.5, and it's folded in half. Now I'm putting some glue in the back of my gears, and very simply I'm just going to attach it to the front. So as you can see, the mica powders are really not right there in your face. You can totally tell this is not metal, but you can still see that the cardstock is metallic. So let's move on to the grading. I cut out the grading from with my die cut machine, but you can totally use Cricut for that. And one of the things that I'm using my card making, if you want your grading to pop out, put 2 or 3 layers of the grading on top of each other, and then they will really stand out. So just glue them. In this case, I'm just gluing 2 pieces together, but sometimes I would go even and glue 3 or even 4 of them together, and then you really get this really amazing pop. It really makes a huge difference. It's such an amazing technique in card making. I'm going to use Nestabilities to cut out the rectangle in the middle of the front of my card, but you totally don't have to do that. I'll show you in just 1 second how I used to do it just with my X-Acto knife. And I want that window because I want to be able to see inside the card. So if you do not have the stabilities, you would just use the ruler and your X-Acto knife, and it works just as well. I have done it that way for years and years. And now the inside paper goes in. It is 5 by 5. This is going to be the inside of my card. So now you could totally emboss the Celebrate, but I am going to use the Gilding paint and brass. If you have never used Gilding paint, oh my goodness, it is so satisfying. It goes on like butter. The coverage is absolutely amazing, and the metallic is fabulous on it. Now, if you do not have that paint, you know, you can put Versamark on top of the Celebrate here and put some embossing powder and emboss it, just to make sure that the greeting is going to pop out against the entire card. Because my card is pretty dark, I want to make sure that the greeting is really shining through it. But look how awesome this paint is going on, and it dries so fast. The only setback is cleaning the paintbrush and acetane and hot water, but besides that, it's amazing. Now the only thing is to glue it to my little piece that I cut out, and that's not a big deal. And now I'm fitting it, because basically when the card is closed, it's going to look like one piece, and then you're going to open, there's the window looking into the inside of the card. I mean, that's the whole beauty of it. And of course I want it to pop out and on the inside, so I'm using a foam tape, so it's just going to give a little lift to the greeting that is inside. And it's very simple. You're just going to close the card and then place the whole rectangle in the cutout hole, and you glue it that way, and it fits perfectly and it looks great, and it's just amazing and fabulous. And I just love how simple this card was to make. Well, what do you guys think? That was pretty darn awesome, huh? With the Father's Day coming up, this could be a great idea for Father's Day. Maybe even use some metallic gears to put on the outside, or tools. It's just such a fun idea with the colors and the metallics and the whole window looking inside the card. I really love it. Well, let me know what you guys think about it. Give me a big thumbs up if you think it was good, and make sure that you subscribe. Until next time, my friends, ta-ta!